bass notes over chords. In the beginning, when you learn to play, you play the root of the chord. If it's an A chord, you play an A note. And if it's a D chord, you play a D note. And if it's an E chord, you play an E note. But in each chord, there's the root, the third, and the fifth of the chord. And a very typical kind of bass pattern would be playing the root of the chord and the fifth of the chord. So let's find out what those notes are. For an A chord, you count up 5 notes, A, B, C, D, E, and you get an E note. So here's A, B, C sharp, D, E, here's the A, and here's the E. So this shape is the root and fifth of the chord. Now that shape is going to be important because we're going to use it for other chords. So here is the root and the fifth of the chord. When I go to the D chord, there's the root, and here's the fifth, that same shape. I have my first finger on the A string, and my third finger on the D string. Now, if that feels like too much reach, you can use your pinky there. Same way. I like to use first and third finger. So, and if you count it up, here's the D, D, E, F sharp, G, here's the A. So D and A, the root and fifth of the chord. When we go to the E, we're going to do the same thing, the root and the fifth. So if you're playing in the chord progression page key of A, number 1, it's A, D, A to D. And we're going to play half notes. So it'll be 1, 2, 3, 4. Then it goes to a D chord. 1, 2, 3, 4. So you're only playing 2 notes per measure, the root and the fifth. Here it is with a drum beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now D chord. Back to A. D chord. Like that. Number 2 is A for 1 measure, D for measure, E for 2 measures. So the E, I just shift my first finger up to the 7th fret, play E, and the 5th there. So here it is. 1, 2, 3, 4. Back to A, D, and E. And end it on A. Another way to find the fifth of the chord, instead of going across the strings, going to a higher string 2 frets higher, you can do the lower string in the same fret. So on a D chord, here's the D, there's the fifth, the A we were talking about before. The A is also found just 1 string lower on the E string at the 5th fret. So that shape is really important to be able to do. You can't do it if you're starting with your root on the E string. You don't have another string on the 4th string to go down there. So we do have to go this way. So here you can either go up to the 5th or down to the 5th. And when we go to the E, you can go down to the 5th, which is the B note, right across the strings there. So let's do chord exercise number 2, A, D, E, E, using that pattern. 1, 2, 3, 4. Repeat it. A, D, E. Now, I could play my A here on the 1st string, or on the G string, then I could do that. So explore where your A, D, and E notes are found on the bass. A, maybe here, A. You can play it there. And you could do your D here, or going down. And your E could go up, or your E could go down. So there's lots of places to play these notes on the bass, but the important thing to remember, your root, if you play with your first finger and you go into a higher string, you do the third finger 2 frets higher. If you're going to a lower string, you stay on the same fret, but you just go back to the lower string to get your 5th. So some bass patterns might do this, where they go up to the 5th and down to the 5th before they come back. So lots of different ways to explore it, but for right now, make sure you can do half notes, root and 5th.